For our next loft visit, we come to see Steve Hadfield, 3 times open, up North Combine. Good afternoon, Steve.
Okay, nice of you to come and visit me today.
It's a pleasure, mate.
Oh, good. I'm hoping to show you some pigeons what you'll like and tell you a little bit about my time in the sport.
That's great.
I started racing in partnership with my father in about 1978. First season I flew with my father. He was already previously flying, and we took 1/3 club that year. And from there we went on. Our aim was always to do well from the long distance channel races, shortest one being 310 miles in Lures, and we set about building a team up to do this job, and I think over the years we've had a fair amount of success. We've been fortunate enough to top up North Combine 3 times. This is the blow-pied cock that was first up North Combine 1996 from Lures 1 against approximately 21,000 pigeons. It was bred for me as a gift by my good friend Jimmy McCarthy and Son of Middlesbrough. The lines of this pigeon is on one side Felix Powell's times Offkins, and on the other side Felix Powell's times Herberts, I believe. He's been a very consistent pigeon all through his racing career. He's took quite a few good positions before topping the combine, and as you can see, he's a lovely looking pigeon. I think he's one of the finest all-round pigeons that I've ever had the good fortune to own.
What system do you race in, Steve?
I race entirely on natural, and I keep approximately between 15 to 20 pairs depending on the year. I have 2 main families, one which I class as my own middle distance family, and the other one which I class as my 500 mile family, a family that I've developed to specialise in that event. I exercise them twice a day on natural. I force them to fly for an hour. I like to see them really fly and clear and do big circuits when they're right. I train them 2 or 3 times a week, depending on what I think they require, from approximately 21 miles. Occasionally, when I'm setting them up for a big channel race, I'll give them 3 from about 50 or 60 miles, maybe 4 days prior to basking for the big event, just to make sure there's no fat or excess weight on them, and just to tone them up properly for the race.
About feeding, what do you feed your birds?
I feed them very high protein, and I like lots of matured tick beans. I like them preferably 3-year-old if I can get them, so they're a nice rich mahogany colour. This is the 1995 Borges up North Combine winner from 539 miles. She beat a convoy just short of, I believe it was 4,000 pigeons from Borges. This is one of my long distance family, as I previously mentioned, that have been bred to specialise in 500 mile racing. She's previously also won her first club 3rd fed 54th up North Combine from Borges, and also the 3rd club from Province 440 miles, and a 5th club from Barbados 376 miles. These pigeons are a family what my father built up over a lot of years, and then I helped him when I went in partnership with him, and they're based on a lot of the old traditional English families like Stassarts, Barkers, Gosens, and Mrs. Jane Barker's pigeons from Bowsbeck, who was twice first up North Combine.
How many babies do you breed each year, Steve?
Varies greatly. In the past I flew slightly more when I flew with my father. This year I'll end up with about 50 because I'm establishing a new loft, but ideally when I get established I would hope to breed about 40 youngsters a year, I think. So I have plenty to replace any losses, or to replace any that I don't think is up to standard, and to keep the strength of my team there.
How far do you race your babies?
Well, personally, if I think a lot about them, I believe Peterborough's far enough. That's about 140 miles. I do race others to Folkestone, but I think especially if you get an headwind from Folkestone, which is 256 miles, I think it's too far, and it's putting an unnecessary strain on the youngsters.
How far do you train them?
Well, I've tried different methods over the years, but my main training point is 21 miles. With youngsters, I'll give them some a bit longer, going inland over the North Yorks moors, perhaps up to about 40 miles prior to the first race. I'll give them 4 or 5 into that distance. This is the equaliser. It was first up North Combine from Claremont in 1989 against approximately 9 or 10,000 pigeons. Claremont's 376 miles approximately. He all's flown natural, this pigeon, and he'd scored 22 times in the first 6 in the club previous to topping the combine. He scored as a young one, and every season he raced. He's also bred me some winners. As you can see now, he's showing his age. He's now 10-year-old. He's unfortunately sterile now, and as you can see, he's suffering a bit from arthritis, and he's now worse for wear, but he was in his time a great pigeon.
How many stock birds do you keep, Steve?
Well, I try to keep it down to about 8 pairs if I can. Sometimes I get a bit carried away and get 1 or 2 more. But there again, you know, if I get offered something that's real quality, I'll introduce it to my team. As I say, I have 2 teams, a middle distance team and a 500-mile team.
Yeah, when do you pair your stock birds up?
Well, most years I pair up on Boxing Day with stock pigeons. The last 2 years have been later because I was having troubles moving me up and everything this year, and one thing or another I was a bit unsettled, and the year before I was still unsettled after my father had died. But on a usual year, Boxing Day.
These are all the trophies won by the Red Hen from Borges, including the microwave oven.
This is my new loft. I'm going to race my pigeons down here in future. It's 32 foot long by 8 foot wide. It's separated into 4 compartments with a 4 foot trapping compartment in the middle, which I don't keep out in. I'm going to have 2 compartments for young birds and 2 compartments for old birds. I'm going to race approximately in the region of 30 pigeons. I want to start this season with old birds, and I'm hoping to breed about between 30 and 40 young birds each season.